Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Nexus, episode 6. This episode is extremely close to my heart. Connection before correction. Have you ever noticed something strange? The more the world is progressing technologically, the more human beings seem emotionally disconnected. People are talking more, but understanding less. Everybody wants to correct. Very few want to connect. Parents correcting children, teachers correcting students, bosses correcting employees, partners correcting each other, and people correcting strangers on social media and in public places. But somewhere in this obsession with fixing others, we forget one simple truth. Human beings open their minds only after their hearts feel safe. And perhaps that is why anxiety is increasing, anger, road rage, loneliness, everything is increasing. Because the world is losing the art of connection. So, welcome to today's episode, my dear friends. Connection before correction, the forgotten art of human relationships, leadership, and learning. And this episode is not just about the schools or children, this is about every relationship in life. Because honestly, even adults are children carrying older wounds. Today, people are emotionally exhausted. Everyone is carrying stress, pressure, expectations, financial worries, relationship struggles, and silent insecurities. Then, one small incident becomes an explosion. A car overtakes another car, and suddenly road rage begins. Someone disagrees online, and abuse starts. A child makes a mistake and shouting begins. But the truth is, most reactions are not about the moment itself. They are accumulated emotions looking for an outlet. And this is what we fail to understand. Most people are not difficult, most people are simply unheard. Imagine a child who scores poorly in exams. One parent says, "What is wrong with you? Look at other children." The child becomes silent. Now, imagine another parent sitting beside the child and saying, "Tell me honestly, what are you struggling with?" Suddenly, the child opens up. The marks were never the real issue. The pain was feeling misunderstood. And this applies everywhere. Employees don't dislike hard work, they dislike disrespect. Children don't hate discipline, they hate humiliation. Partners don't fear disagreement, they fear emotional distance. Because correction without connection feels like rejection, but correction with understanding becomes guidance. One of the greatest leadership principles in life is this: people do not do what we say, they eventually become what they repeatedly observe. A parent shouting, "Why are you shouting?" A leader demanding respect while speaking rudely. A teacher teaching kindness through humiliation. This contradiction is destroying modern relationships. Children are not listening to words anymore, they are absorbing behavior. And honestly, the same is true for adults. A good leader is not someone who controls people. A good leader is someone whose presence inspires people. Because authority can force obedience, but only character earns respect. This is why leading by example matters so deeply. If you want calmness, first be calm yourself. If you want honesty, be honest. If you want respect, give respect first. Because energy is contagious. Sometimes people genuinely have good intentions, but destructive communication. And that destroys relationships. Because truth spoken without compassion becomes cruelty. You may be right in your message, but wrong in your delivery. And human beings remember tone longer than words. A child may forget the lesson, but never the humiliation. An employee may forget the mistake, but never the disrespect. A spouse may forgive the argument, but struggle to forget the harshness. This is why emotional intelligence is becoming more important than intellectual intelligence. Wisdom is not just knowing what to say, wisdom is knowing how, when, and in what energy to say. Psychologists across the world have repeatedly emphasized on the idea of human connection. For example, Rita Pearson famously said, "Kids don't learn from people they don't like." But honestly, this is true for adults too. People grow where they feel emotionally safe. Carol Dweck showed through her work on mindset that constant labeling damages human potential. When people repeatedly hear you are lazy, you're useless, you never improve, then slowly they begin believing it internally. But when someone believes in them, they begin believing in themselves. The Pygmalion effect. It proved that expectations shape outcomes. And perhaps this is one of the greatest responsibilities we carry as human beings. The way we see people shapes the way they see themselves. Even ancient wisdom understood the importance of connection. In the Bhagavad Gita, before Lord Krishna gave wisdom to Arjuna, he first listened to his confusion, fear, and emotional collapse. The Gita did not begin with judgment, it began with understanding. That is very powerful because real teaching never starts with ego, it starts with empathy. Today, everybody wants to appear strong, but very few people know how to be emotionally available. People are craving for genuine connections, not more advice, lectures, or motivational speeches. Sometimes a person simply needs someone who says, "I understand. I am here. Tell me, what are you feeling?" And honestly, that itself becomes healing because human beings do not transform through fear for long, they transform through trust. There is a very beautiful quote by Theodore Roosevelt: "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." I would give you another profound thought by Stephen Covey: "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." These are not just quotes, my dear friends. They are survival principles for relationships. Because the deepest human need is not perfection, it is being valued. So, how do we practice connection before correction? I'll give you very simple ways of doing that. First, listen before reacting. Most people react while the other person is still emotionally broken. Second, separate the mistake from the person. A mistake is behavior, not identity. Third, lead by example. Your behavior teaches louder than your words. Fourth, correct privately, but appreciate publicly. Humiliation never creates healthy growth, my dear friends. Fifth, speak with dignity. Kindness does not weaken authority, it strengthens your influence. Last but not the least, build emotional safety. That is where honesty and transformation begin. My dear friends, maybe the world does not need more people who are eager to control. Maybe it needs more people who know how to understand, more parents who listen, more teachers who inspire, more leaders who lead by example, more human beings who speak with compassion. Because every person you meet is silently fighting battles you know nothing about. And perhaps before trying to change people, we must first make them feel seen. So before you correct your child, connect. Before you correct your employee, your partner, or someone in the society, just connect. Connect with humanity itself. Because connection is not weakness, it is wisdom, it is leadership, and it is healing. And maybe it is forgotten language the world desperately needs today. So, thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If this episode touched your heart, share it with someone who needs understanding more than judgment. Because sometimes one genuine human connection can change an entire life. Thank you. See you in next podcast. God bless you all. Have a good day ahead.